I grew up in Chicago. And so being a young person in Chicago, I have incredible memories. And one really great memory was with my grandmother. And she has been incredibly influential in my life. Um, we were simply taking a ride to get ice cream. But somehow at the end of that ride, she began to turn the corner a little wide, ended up unbelievably on the curb. And of course, all of my friends were sitting out on the porch. And it was at that moment that I realized embarrassment can either, in your mind, end your life or be something that becomes a fond story later that you laugh about. And to this day, when I pass that corner, I laugh. And I think about my grandma driving the huge Cadillac that she had, being 4'9", sitting behind that giant wheel. And we weren't harmed, but I think as a young adult, well, I was 12, I thought I was an adult. I thought life was going to end. Absolutely. I would never live it down. But it's been a great lesson because now I know I can survive almost anything. I am the oldest of four. My mom was a single mom, and there are two boys and two girls. And so I was more like the second mom than like a big sister, honestly. There's 6 years between my brother and I, and as much as 15 years between my youngest sibling and I. And so I learned how to make decisions for a group early on in my life. I knew that what I decided would impact not just me, but it would impact them as well. Be it the decision of a role model, the decision of how late to stay out, or the decision of giving them the time and attention that they needed. Early on, I knew the world was bigger than myself. My life has been full of adventures, that's what we'll call them. One such adventure is when I was 17 and contracted shingles. And it got in my spinal fluid and it left me paralyzed from the neck down for 6 months. And it's an incredible memory of how bad things can be, but it's my source of strength. So when people say, Denisha, why are you so strong? What, doesn't anything shake you? Well, no, because I've been to the depths of despair. Because at 17, to be told you're never going to walk again, you can't imagine that's how your life, the rest of your life is going to be. And so I share my story with others and hope that they can find in their own lives, what's that something they thought they wouldn't survive, that they've overcome and made it through so that they can pull on that in times of need. And one of the things that people always ask when they learn about that story is, why didn't you give up? Why didn't you believe what they said? Well, because I knew I was right. That's a little bit about my personality. There are some times when you have to stand alone and you may go against popular belief because something inside of your spirit tells you that there's something different expected for you, and you go with it. As a child, I got a chance to experience different types of religion, from Christianity to being a Muslim. My family just changed over time. What I learned about was general spirituality and my connection to a higher being. But I was also given the freedom to make my own decision on how I would worship and what I would believe. And it's been awesome and amazing because I see how others connect with their spiritual self. And I realize that that's a connection point for us all. And so when I work with people, I realize that they're that person, that spirit, my brother and sister, and there is a point when we have something in common, and that's where I start from. That's where my relationship begins. Spirit to spirit, who are we? And what can I do to help you be your best self?